Let's bring our palms together and let's pay our respect. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinvat Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear meditators, throughout this almost like 6 months, we learned for foundation of mindfulness, or the root teachings of that, the path to cessation of suffering, different meditations, and it's like how to be mindful, how to be aware, and how to practice mindfulness in our body, how to see this body as body, and then how to be mindful in our feelings and see feelings as feelings instead of identifying it as I. And then we learned how to be mindful about in the mind and see mind as a mind instead of identifying it as I, and then the Dhamma, or the mind phenomena, mind objects, how to understand it and how to be mindful in that. And then we learned not to identify those conditioned things as me or mine or myself. So this is a great teaching Buddha taught us. And at the start of this teaching, Buddha says, Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo, bhikkhu, monks, sangha. This is the exact path, satthana visuddhya, for the purification of the living beings. Soka paridhavana samatikkamaya, to overcome from the lamentation, sorrow and lamentation. Dukkha domanassanang attangamaya, to overcome from physical and mental discomfort. Nyaya sadhigamaya, to attain the special realizations. And Nibbana Saccakiriya, this is the exact path to attain the liberation, attain to the Nibbana. So then Buddha teach this. At the end of the discourse, Buddha saying, if someone practice this path the same way, the exact same way, 7 years, he should be willing to experience the final stage of enlightenment, or the third stage. And Buddha then reducing the time. Forget about 7 years. Practice 6 years. Then you should be willing to experience final stage or the third stage. Then reducing, keep on reducing. Forget about 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, and 7 months, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and saying forget about 1 month. Adda maso, which means half a month. Then forget about half a month. A week, if someone practice this a week, as it says, Buddha saying, that person will attain the final stage or the third stage. So the way this teaching construct, you can see that first Buddha creates the confidence. This is the exact path if you want these results. And then he teach it. And he conclude it with giving the confidence, like stabilizing, like anchoring the confidence with powerful statement. So this is amazing teaching what we learned throughout these 6 months. So let's dive into the final one. So we are learning the four noble truths or the four universal truths. We learn what is suffering, and we learn that how birth also a condition thing and how it is a suffering, birth, decaying, dying, and separation from loved ones and things, and associating with the things we do not like and the people, and then this how sorrow, lamentation, and physical and mental discomfort, and those things arises. And in brief, how we categorize whole whatever the clinged thing, or the five aggregates of cling, how we say it as suffering. And then we learned cause for the suffering. Suffering is not someone else putting in our head or in our life. Sufferings arises because of the attachment. We are expecting something in a certain way, but this universe, this nature happens in another way, like the that what happens does not match with our expectation. So then wherever we have ego, wherever we have attachment, it creates suffering. And we learned that's the second universal truth. We learned the third universal truth, how to overcome from all the sufferings and pains, which is attaining that nibbana by letting go of the ego or the attachment. So we learn where attachment arises, where ego arises. Wherever it seems pleasurable, piyarupan satarupa, wherever it feels that pleasurable and that satisfying, that's where that ego rises. And that's where ego stays. And that's where we have to work to let it go. Now we are in the path. Today we are going to learn what is the path to cessation of suffering. So path to cessation of suffering has 8 folds. So that's why we can say it noble eightfold path. So this noble eightfold path start with Sammaditthi, or the right view. Right view means that the view, that view which match with the existence, that view which match with the characteristics of the existence. So because of that view, second arises Samma Sankappa, right intentions. So when we see things clearly as it is because of the right view, it helps to arise the Samma Sankappa, or the right intention. And then that right intention help us to practice Samma Vacha, or the right words, or the right speak. So we can learn what is right intention, what is right speech, and then next one is, the fourth one is right action, and then fifth one is right livelihood. Sixth one is right effort. Seventh one is right mindfulness. Same thing what we learned up to today. Then the eighth one is right concentration, or the jhana, or the deeper levels of the concentration, samadhi. So this is the path. Path means this is the road. So when someone practice this road, that when he attain that liberation or the nibbana, that arahant or the enlightened monk has 10 things, not just 8, which is samma jnana and samma vimukti. Samma jnana means the right knowledge, and samma vimukti means that right liberation. So then with these 10 qualities, or with these 10 things, we say to anyone who has that, enlightened monk. So let's dive into what is Noble Eightfold Path. So, right. Up to that, if you have any question, feel free to bring it up before we dive into the sutta. And no question identify as a small question or like every question. If it is a question to you, then it's a question. And you don't want to worry how others think and whether they think I'm silly or so. It's not like that. We are all learning together.
Bhante, in the Eightfold Path, are those put in an order for a certain reason? Like, is to to have the right intention, you have to have the right view.
Mm-hmm.
Have the right speech, you have to have the right intention.
Right. Yeah, good question actually. Yeah, right. It has order definitely. So that order can describe in a different ways. So that because of the right view, actually right intention, and then the right speak, right livelihood starts. But when it comes to the right effort and right mindfulness, with the right views, if you have right view, that means with that you have the right effort and the right mindfulness, and because of that you are correcting your ethical conduct. And then when, because of the first seven, we say that the supplements for the samma samadhi or the concentration. So whoever experience that deeper concentration, he has these seven qualities, seven things with them, because those are the supplementaries to experience that peace of state, jhana, or the samadhi, or the concentration. So again, there are the other ways we can describe this, and there we can refer a couple of different suttas, but I'm not going to dive into that. But I will, through in this class, I will teach you to understand by yourself how right view allows you to have right intention, and that how that right intentions help you to have right speak and action and the livelihood. Okay, does that make sense? Okay,
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
right.
Bhante, can I just go through the order again with you?
Yes, Tina.
So the first one is right view,
Correct.
right intention,
Correct.
right speech,
Right.
right effort,
Right action.
right action. Sorry, yeah. Right
Yeah.
livelihood or right effort.
Right.
Oh, okay. Right
Right.
effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration.
Perfect.
Thank you. I pass. 9 out of
Yes. Right.
7 out of 8. Thank you.
Yes, 7 out of 8, and actually it's like 8 out of 8. Right. Yes.
I thought there are two more, right knowledge and right liberations.
Yes, that's for the, when you practice this 8, that's the path when you attain the Nibbana or the liberation. Enlightened monk has these 10 qualities, Samma Jnana and the Samma Vimukti. That's what you have, you said, and then you have 10 out of 10.
The
Tina?
path. And what is the noble truth of the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering? It is simply this noble eightfold path, that is, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion.
Right. Okay. Right. So, Katamacha Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Satcham. What is the noble path to cessation of suffering? Ayame Varyo Attangiko Maggo. This is the, which is the eightfold path, and those are the things on the noble eightfold path. So, in here again, it's better to try to give it a try. Like, remember, in the beginning you don't need, but when you dive into sutta little by little, try to remember the Pali term because different translations has different words. So as an example, we say Samma Samadhi. In here it says right immersion. We said right concentration. So the same thing, the different translators, different Bantes who translated these beautiful teachings have used different words. Okay. This is the Sammaditthi. Anyone, please?
And what is right view? Knowing about suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. This is called right view.
Right. Right view means not something else. Right view means the understanding suffering as a suffering. So it's like not just believing. You know that there is something when we know need to is the special thing, not something we need to understand in the teachings. So this path starts with of course confidence towards Buddha. We can say it's like even faith, but when you attain to the first stage, then it's not just a believing. When we say believing, it's an example. Okay. I have a mark here. So there is no one, I think, who believe I have a mark, because you don't believe, you see it. Right. So different between believing and understanding is like when believing means you are not sure, like you are not 100% sure, but you believe it. That means it can be. There is a probability. But when it comes to the understanding, it's no longer just believing. It's something you see. So that the right view means you should have knowing about suffering as suffering, which means understanding suffering as suffering. So if someone asks you back and forth questions, what is suffering? You can say whatever the condition thing, suffering, five aggregates of clinging, suffering, it's just not a knowledge. So if someone asks, how can we say birth also a suffering? So instead of like, in the words we say like beating around the bush, we should able to bring that idea, how birth is a suffering. It's not a, we should bring that clear idea. It's not a negativity or something upper called positivity. We understand nature as nature. So when we say decaying is a reality, it's not a negative thing. It's what is happening. Getting ill, it's a part of this life. So when we understand it as a exact thing, so then that's we call the right view. So if someone has a right view, so he do not have any hesitation about the impermanence of the conditioned things and suffering which comes because of those things change. So likewise, understanding suffering and suffering. The second thing is origin of the suffering. So he is a person, okay, he can be angry for some reason, but he may get angry, but he do not hold anger. Why? He know that origin is here, not the one who insult, not the one who criticize, not the one who did not smile, not the one who didn't say good morning, not the one who didn't say Namo Buddhaya, not the one who didn't treat you as you expect. Suffering comes because of the attachment. I expected that. So then you know that if I actually expectation, you expect means we need to use the right attachment to the expectation. If I do not have attachment to that, the other person smile, then that person smile or not smile, I have the same love towards that person. If that person insult or not, I have the same understanding towards that person. If that person hit me or not, I should have the same a warmth feeling towards that living being. So, likewise, understanding the cause for the suffering as cause for the suffering. Instead of finding the reason in the outside, you should see it within yourself. Cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering means end of suffering. You should have right understand how to end the suffering. Suffering ends even here, not by bringing back, expecting the other person to be nice and step back and say sorry and apologize, then I will feel comfort. Not like that. Understanding that whether that person correct that person or not, you should be able to be happy by understanding cessation of suffering arises when I let go that attachment. Think that someone going through grieving, that it's a very hard feeling. We need to comfort ourselves. We need the other's help to comfort. But once we comfort and once we get a chance to wisely consider it, bring our insight back, that is the time we need to use these tools and see this suffering arises because of my attachment. Then when you let go of the attachment, still you will have that beloved, loved memories in your memories and the diaries in your memory, but it does not hurt you when you go through that. It will be a lovely memory. That's all. So then you should have the clear knowledge, path to cessation of suffering. This is the exact path. So when we say the suffering, there is a thing to do for the suffering. When we experience suffering, we try to reject the suffering. But Buddha is saying, doing what we should do for the suffering is understanding. It's part of life. It's part of this gift. Understanding that. Origin of suffering. When we experience origin of suffering, when we experience attachment, usually what we try to do is we try to hold our attachment so hard. Be with me. It's so nice to experience this happiness. It's so nice to have this ice cream. It's so nice to have this pizza. It's so delicious. It wet my tongue. So it's like appreciating that. Yes, and you're appreciating cause for the suffering. So when you feel attachment, you should understand, okay, I feel it and it's not false. I feel happy because of this attachment. But it creates that attachment, expect the same way over and over again, then it will create suffering. Then doing thing for that is letting go. Third noble truth, cessation of suffering. For that means end of suffering. What we need to do that is attain that. Practice and attain that. Not just expecting, begging, may it come to me, may it come to me. It's not the thing to do for that. What we need to do for that is, of course, we need to attain that. So that's the doing thing for that. Path, not just to listen, not just to discuss. Path is to practice. So not just, okay, I'm a good listener. Yes, listening helps, but practice, you need to practice. So when you have those understanding as it is, that's where the right understanding arises. So who give the credit, who graduate you in this? Meditation center doesn't send you an email and say that you are graduated, and the meditation center one thing never sign a certificate and hand it over to you. Who give the graduation? When you experience same incidents what others experience, think that there are two people. Both experience sudden separation or death of their relative. One cries, overwhelming with the grieving. One who knows has the knowledge. feel the pain, but in no time, in short period of time, he will understand and will back to normal. The Buddha saying, where people cry, this the one who has the right understanding lives without crying. It's not crying means not just holding by force, not because tears comes. So when you bring understanding to your life, you will understand that you can go through, navigate through the situation, not just like neglecting, looking somewhere else or forgetting. No, with wise understanding, yes, this is what going through, and it's the life. Life is not just what I expect. It's the life is the whole thing. So that's sort of a understanding, right? So that's the first thing of the sammaditya, or the right view or the right understanding.
And what is the right thought? Thoughts of renunciation, goodwill, and harmlessness. This is called right thought.
Right. So right in here, right thought means the right intention. What I said, like samma sankappa. So samma sankappa, nekkhamma sankappa, avyapada sankappa, avihinsa sankappa. Okay, I will guide you to understand how right view shape this. How right view create renunciation thought. Okay, think that so that right view shows that all the conditioned things has gratification, that the happiness which can create, and the danger it has because of the impermanence, and the liberation, which means that we can liberate ourselves, we can experience the freedom from that conditioned thing. So, okay, in there, can you remember the cake story which we said that, okay, we all give today is someone's birthday, okay, let's think today is Carrie's birthday, and Carrie's online sharing in a cake, a delicious cake to everyone, and we all happy and we all enjoy our cake. And not online, we need some other way to do this. Okay, let's say okay online, and you are being with someone else also in the house. So while you are having your cake, which you like, which you love, which you do not want to share it with someone, while you're having with experiencing the gratification, someone want to take it from you, saying, hey, I also love this, I want this, and you are in a mood not to give even one bite, but that person try to take it by force. So it will create kind of an anger in you because you are not expecting such a thing. So think that at the same time, you get to know that this cake is contaminated with kind of a poison. Like this company want to revoke and return in all these model number cakes, and you just realize that. Then now you do not need feel like to put it to your mouth anymore. Now no one need to come and say, hey, you are not supposed to eat this. If someone try to put it to your mouth, you strongly reject. You feel like dying. So when you see the danger, letting go is just happening. So likewise, when you clearly understand about the conditioned things create gratification, and conditioned things has the danger that because which comes not only that sort of a contamination, because of the impermanence, these things changing. When it comes to your own knowledge, that knowledge always comes with the when your insight and concentration are developed. Think that so it's like this. So think that we are looking the beauty of a filament light. The filament light create that stable light, but using maybe AC current, which means like that flickering, like even with small hertz, like it's like flickering over and over, but because it happens so frequently, we see a stable light. That doesn't mean that it doesn't flicker. So in the same way, but if we can tune our eye using some sort of a mechanism, we see that flickering. So likewise, what we just feel only the gratification, it also has the hidden danger. When we improve our concentration, we see that. So likewise, when you see the danger also, then like you reject that cake, your attachments reducing and you feel inner peace more and more. It's like you feel happiness not just from receiving but from letting go. Letting go happiness, that means happiness just arising for no reason because you have not attached, is strong and more powerful than happiness which comes from by receiving or by expectations. It's like that's a powerful, amazing happiness. So when you feel that happiness, you do not want to ruin it by attaching to an object. Attaching to object or person means that you are literally taking your happiness out from you and putting it to that object. Then you need to protect that object or person's emotions and feelings not to feel suffer. So you do not want to put your happiness in someone's heart. You experience that inner peace and happiness. So when you feel inner peace and happiness, your eventual thought pattern is that thoughts of renunciation or the thoughts of letting go. So when you do not attach to things, because of that, so that in here, which means goodwill, means actually it's that the avyapada sankappa, which means opposite of anger, which means that you do not feel anger. So wherever we feel anger, anger arises because we have attached. So when you do not have attachment, you do not expect it to be in a certain way. You accept in the whole nature of that. So then you do not feel anger. When you do not feel anger, because of anger, out of anger, thoughts arises to harm others, create danger, hurt others. Since you do not have anger thoughts, because of that, harmless thoughts are the fundamental thoughts you have. So people who have attached, because of that, they have anger. Because of they have anger, they want to hurt others. They have that harming thoughts. So that's the wrong thoughts, that attached, anger, and the expectation to harm. So one who have not attached, no anger, no need to harm, but just feeling inner peace and happiness. So that's how right understanding or right view create right intentions. So are you clear on that? Are we all in same page? Right.
So I actually have a question.
Yes.
So any other thought is not right one? So what is it? Only those three thoughts are right?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Did I
So
understand it correctly? Yeah.
yeah, so this is like a fundamental things. I think we may have learned that that Vattupama Sutta. There are that thought patterns, different thought patterns. So that right intention contains whatever the thought pattern which is not contaminated with ego, or that the passion which comes with ego, or the anger, or the delusion. So if someone with the wrong intention, which means that if someone has the jealousy, if someone has that false pride, ego, those also grouped in that wrong intention. So the right intention means that intentions are not attached. So even if someone say that, okay, shall we bring the jealousy? So jealousy also, when we look into it, when we see through that, we see, okay, we have attached. We expect a kind of a praise or gain for us, someone else receiving. It's like kind of a something stunk in our heart, feels hurt. So because of that, anger rises, and because of that, harming thoughts arises. So that's the answer for that. It's like that. Whatever the, so this right view, this we can describe that we say that the wholesome roots and the unwholesome roots. So right view means, in another way of understanding what is right view, there are like many ways to understand what is right view, which is one who has right view, he understands this comes from unwholesome roots, this comes from wholesome roots. So which means that that understanding does not create attachment to the wholesome roots also, any karma which comes with the wholesome roots. So that's the right understanding. So Andre, did you understand it, or did I make more complicated?
I need to think about this as well. So, but
Yeah,
it's good.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we will discuss, because when Samma Ditya, the right understanding, there are the other ways to understand. There is a one sutta right in Majjhima Canon, the other different ways. We can go through it one thing. Yes, John.
To clarify, when you mentioned ego, you also then said anger and delusion. Are ego, greed, and jealousy essentially the same thing and are one of the three fires?
No, when we say that, actually that it says three fires means actually lobha, dosa, moha. Lobha means that the which comes like, we say that the possession, we can say it's like this. So ego, most of the time, it's like, it feels like happiness when we attach to something. Ego comes with that pleasant feeling, that where what I say here, because, and then the anger means that anger rises with unpleasant, and then the delusion usually stays with that feeling of just feeling neutral. We feel like we have not attached to anything, but that neutral feeling also can, with the delusion, if he does not understand it's right, if he does not have that right understanding. So if you find the Pali term tanha, which means that ego means all three together. If you find lobha, dosa, moha means that the three fires, which mean that ego grouped into lust. Actually, that's the right way, I believe. Lust, anger, and the delusion.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay. We need to use this vocabulary, same vocabulary. I will try that, because usually I do not have like prepared, like, oh, I will prepare this and deliver. So I tried that, because in the university, they ask like, not ask, all the others bring like something that prepared speech. So I tried it once. It does not work for me. It's like not, it's like my preparation is like not to be prepared is the best preparation for me. So because of that, I understand that sometimes I use different words. So that's why I'm saying that it's better to learn the Pali term also. Let's go to right speech. Katamacha bhikkhave samma vacha. Can anyone help us with reading this?
And what is right speech? The refraining from lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and talking nonsense.
Right. So now we know that if anyone has wrong understanding, like the wrong vision about life, he has this lust, anger, and this delusion, and he will have this lust thoughts, anger, and harm thoughts. So those thoughts, when you have those thoughts, you have most of the time, those things lead to this wrong speech. But one who do not have that, they have this right speech. Right speech means what? Refraining from lying. So when you do not have attached to anything, you do not want to protect something like false thing. So you are refraining from lie. So that's something. But there may be sometimes you are out of compassion. You are not lying, but you are not delivering the truth, but you are just skipping that. Like, I do not want to answer that. So because this is not, do not understand the refraining from lying, and it's not like saying truth. So refraining from lies, that's what it says. And diversive speech, that means saying things behind others' back. It's described like this: someone listening from this place and going to the other person and saying things to break this group, and from listening from here and going to here and saying things to break this. So expectation to break others is like the relationships. So that's something, the wrong speech. And in the Buddha, like monks, Vinaya, we call the monks discipline code, there is another thing also. Not sometimes people not only sharing these diversive speech or just to break the other group, sometimes to be friendly. Think that you want to be friendly with someone, so for that, with that expectation, you are just saying, hey, I should not you tell this, but I do not want to betray you. That's why I'm saying. Likewise, your purpose to create a connection with that person, and you are saying something to divers. If when we being mindful, we can see this divisive speech in most of the people when they gather as a group. That's why sometimes people do not like to go to like recreation or community places, because they are going with good purpose. But there are thousands of, that's the same place where the gossip sharing. So that sort of a thing. So it's something we need to let go. And then harsh speech. Harsh speech means that the words which we use to hurt others, that intentional idea to hurt others, it should contain crude words, tone, and things like primary intention is to hurt others. That's a bad speech. And if someone do not have that, that's the right speech. And last one is talking nonsense, means one who's practicing these teachings little by little. This will take time, but he will overcome from useless speeches. Like, that they are without a proper purpose or trying to understanding things. Sometimes people, when they meet, keep on talking, non-stop. So it's a kind of a, you can say, hey, stop sometimes with, you don't want to be identify as a bad person, but you just nodding and just waiting when this enough over. So so those nonsense talks should end. So in this nonsense talks, there are like 32 different things regarding those period of times, and we can learn those things later. But basically, we know that refraining from lying, diversive speech, harsh speech, and talking nonsense. So I don't think this is something we need to describe a lot. We all have this experience, and at one point of our time, our life, we may all have done this. If someone's saying no, really? That's what I should ask. I shouldn't judge, but I will say really, that's all. Right. So then this is called the right speech. Okay. Then and what is right action?
And what is right action? Refraining from killing living creatures, stealing, and sexual misconduct. This is called right action.
Right. Thank you, John. So intentional. Everything are intentional, not unintentional. Refraining from killing creatures, stealing, and sexual misconduct. So when I was practicing to be a monk, so we have like 1 year of preparation time in the monastery. I was in my 18s and I have more energy, and when there are so many chores, I used to run sometimes, even it is not so like usually we do. So one day I was running, so like I was running and I was about to place my foot, and I realized that there were some black ants crossing my path. So there is nothing to do. Suddenly I felt like, okay, whatever, then I ran. So then after then I felt like regret. Did I kill them intentionally? Then I was not sure whether I did or not. So then if we do something bad, then we have to go and correct ourselves in front of a monk and observing a precepts back. So then I went to see the teaching monk who were there at that time and asked Bhante, there was this thing. First, I was with ego. I felt like, no, I shouldn't, but we can't do that because the regret always arising. So then I asked, and then Bhante said, if you have not done that you didn't kill that. The only thing is you lost your compassion. There is nothing you can do, but you lost your compassion, and it's a mind thing. You have not done any action physically or verbally regarding that. So only thing is we need to work on that. That means we should have compassion while even those things happen. So likewise, that killing beings means it should be intentional, stealing should be intentional, sexual misconduct also should be intentional. Right. Okay. Right livelihood means when a noble disciple gives up wrong livelihood and earns a living by right livelihood, which means that for living, he do not do things which he shouldn't do, or like which create regret, like think that for livelihood he do not do wrong occupation, like occupation which related to the saying like weapon businesses, intoxicating drinks and drugs mix businesses, slavery, and there is another thing, it does not come to my mind.
Animals.
Yes, that which means that creating pain and hurts animals in that way. It's not like taking care of dogs or petting pets, so it's not like that. So that intentional action. So I will share something special. One of a meditator. So because actually this even in Sri Lanka is most of the people are Buddhist. So there are only 2 incidents I know personally such a thing happened, but which means that when they understand they are doing a wrong livelihood, which they let go that. But in here, he practicing Buddhist teachings for some times, and he used to come to programs. So and then he asked us a question, and he's you may have heard that Jubus, like Jewish Buddhist, they are Jewish and they identify them as Buddhist also. And he asked Bhante, I heard this wrong occupation and I have a beer company. What should I do? I did not want to because it's something they like. It's something that's how he earns money. And then I do not want to put him into trouble. Then I asked little by little, and he said that yes, he can overcome. So he was in a position like not even selling, then like just letting go everything, like not even stopping that, even selling, not even selling the company even. Then I said, no, do not do like that, because when we take decisions, we have to be mindful whether you can sustain. When you learn, you can little by everything we correct little by little, like we do not overcome from telling lies overnight. If someone have that sort of idea, okay, I will never ever say lie, then he will be in trouble when he say that, because he create kind of determinations which he can't hold. Then he will end up with regret. Think that someone need to overcome from addictions like alcohol also. He thinks like, I will never ever drink again, but after a week or so he will drink, and he has now two troubles. He has that huge regret building in him. So it's not the way. Regularly, little by little, one who practice that rewire the brain little by little, they are the one practicing this path perfect, not the one who just want to be perfect overnight. It does not happen at all. If you feel like I am a perfect person, I can be there, I can do that. Before that, try to sit and meditate like 1 hour or so. If you can just meditate 1 hour, then you know that, okay, you have at least that sort of a courage. Most of the time, you do not have courage to even sit in 1 hour, but you give rules to yourself. I will never ever do this. So we are dealing with the mind. Mind always changing. We have to accept the changing of the mind. Yes, Tina?
I remember Bhikkhu Buddhi had said that it's to don't rush the path, to slowly practice, and don't like overcommit. So it's what you were talking about, because sometimes we make these promises to ourselves, oh, we're not going to do this, and then we do it, and then you're right, we regret it, and it's like double, right?
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, we beat ourselves up. So I remember he said that never to like rush the path.
Yes,
Slowly.
Tina, that's
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to understand non-self by putting a self.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that.
So I'm a scientist and doing cancer research, and just throughout my career I had to kill thousands of mice in experiments. So, and it's how should I feel about this and how should I deal with that?
Okay, you still do that?
What's that?
You still do that? Okay, you just bringing analogy, right?
Well, no, students. If we are doing experiments, I will just do a student on myself. But it's part of job. Without this, there is no drugs for cancer. Right. There is no results produced. So that's a kind of dilemma.
Okay, so right, that's fair. So that's why I say that. Okay, so if it is a personal question, I can give the answer. We can't observe precepts, so we can't practice Buddhism to economy or constitution or to the science, because it has its own path. If someone teach or try to help constitution to be a good Buddhist, then what will happen? And everything will ruin, because think that for economy, they need to take care of the things which economy runs, and for the science, there are things what they have to do. So think that there is something that related to military, they have to work on that. So, but that doesn't mean that they can practice. So precepts is a one thing, but they can practice mindfulness and loving kindness. So it's like little by little. So I know personally, when even during there was a civil war in Sri Lanka until 2009, there were some major majors and the high-ranked army personnels, they meditate while they working. Where they meditate, they go to the restroom and locked. No one knows what they do. Sit on the ground, on the floor, not even in the commode, on the floor and meditate. No one knows. It's a personal business. So likewise, because of the intention, little by little they can correct, but it's not something we can apply for a society. It does not work in that way. Even Buddha was alive. Buddha never connected Buddha's teaching with the government. Buddha said government should be separate, and even government supports. Buddha never expected that. So actually, that's what the answer for that is. For a personal question, we can answer for, but the society, it does not work in that way.
So basically, when somebody does something, that kind of goes against the precept, it just basically means that, they're able to keep the other precepts, just not that specific one. Is that
Right.
what you?
Yes, and they can protect that, and they can little by little. So think that, so if someone find that this is not a good practice, and then he can slowly shift to another right occupation, and yes, they can protect the other precepts, and not only that, they can practice the other meditations and then the other generous activities. So do not try to bring all together to your life and try to practice everything by its like overnight. So that never ever happen. I mean, I have seen so much as those people, they are sometimes with their ego, they are so arrogant. Hey, you guys doing nothing. You are just saying you are not practicing. But they are putting their full energy and they are trying. Because of that, it creates an anger like towards other good people because they are judging. But after a year or so, because of that wrong way, they left the path even. So, CB, the short answer is yes, you can protect other precepts, and while there may be something, and in the future you can correct.
All right, thank you, Bandana Buddha.
Number three. So, we need to understand that this is not just to be so right, yes. This is to understand. So, why we need to practice this? To overcome from regret. Why regret arises? Because we have done something, create regret, or we haven't done something good. So regret arises for two reasons. One is when we do something bad, or when we didn't do something right. These two reasons regret arises. So we need to let go regret. Why we need to let go regret? This is a practice. Just being as a human being, just living, this create inner peace and happiness for no reason when we have that peaceful state in our mind. So we can experience it when regret arises. That's why we need to let go the regret. So, and we need to learn, this is why I'm doing this. So if you feel regret about something, yes, you know that what is the most happiest thing, not the money or the inner peace and happiness. For your inner peace and happiness, you can upgrade yourself, but it's not just overnight, little by little, one step at a one time. Okay, if anyone would like, today is a full moon day, I believe, today or tomorrow. So full moon days, once a month, some devotees practice Upasata, practicing extra 3 precepts, not eating afternoon, and just letting go that sensual pleasure life, and just being like a monk for a day, like having like a celibacy life, and having this normal life. So if anyone would like, you can give it a try. And yeah, so if it called Upasata, Upasatha, and you can learn about it. And so there are things you can still drink, coffee or tea or fruit juice. There are one thing you can eat specially, or like even a dark chocolate, doesn't matter, and called the chaturmandura. For delicious things mixed together, it's kind of a medicine, but the advice you can have it. Okay, let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today we learned one part of Noble Eightfold Path, and we accumulated many merits. Let's share all these good karma, good merits, good blessings with all your private guardians, and if there are any for you, and then with all the divinely powers, and with the past relatives, and with our teacher. We respectfully say Pinvat Loku Swamin Wahanse, and let's share with all the monastic monks all around the world, and let's share all these merits with our wonderful volunteers and all the meditators and the everyone who participated today. May you all be well, may you all be happy, may you all able to practice teachings more and more, and may you all able to experience the supreme bliss of happiness, Nibbana, in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to chant the blessings in Buddha's language. Abhivadana silisa nichang vada vajaino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samichyatu. May you all have long life, happy life, healthy life. Namo Buddhaya.